Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we are back from China, Banhai, from Asian Championship. Today I'm with Lucas. He's the buddy of Sam from New Zealand, and he's been a rookie in the world community. First time I've met him was in New Zealand in Lake Garda at the World Championship a couple weeks ago at the beginning of May. Since the first event he's been riding really good, so I'm really interested to see who he is, how he's been training, and what his plans for the future. Hey Lucas. Hey, and just a quick note, we actually started this podcast to record it before, but then we didn't press the record button on the iPhone, so we're kind of going to redo it again, and a couple of questions. Yeah, so let's go over again. How long have you been kiting? When did you switch to foiling in general?
So I've been kiting for 12 years, I think now. I started when I was about 10 years old, so really young. I was doing freestyle kiteboarding for most of my life, and then the last 3 or 4 years I've started foiling.
Okay. And then you started foiling, I guess first couple of years you spent just free riding.
Yeah.
Then you decided to try the racing.
Yeah, I just gave foiling a go, mainly because one of my sponsors was making foils, so he sent me one. And
let's name this sponsor.
So Access Kiteboarding started making foils a few years ago, and now it's one of their main focuses. So they've been doing really well with the free ride and the wave, you know, in anything that foils really. So I got one of those and just gave it a go, and I think the reason I got into it was just it was so fun to learn something new again and progress fast. So I haven't had that for a while, so it was
okay. And then your first major international event was the beginning of May, Lake Garda, Italy. Tell me, how do you feel about the event? You made it to the top 30 gold fleets. I think for the first international event, it's an amazing result.
Yeah.
So what were your impression of the gold fleet?
I was very happy to be a part of the gold fleet. I think the few days before I decided that's what I wanted to do, and I think I had a couple okay races and then a couple maybe not so great. So I came in quite low in the gold fleet, I think like 27 or 28.
Okay.
And then during the finals I made it up to 21st. So
nice.
Again, it wasn't perfect racing, but I felt like I at least know I can do okay.
And the conditions were really challenging in Garda with the cliffs and the wind shift. So.
Yeah. I'm sure Sam feels the same, but I don't like light wind, and I really don't like the big kites. So for me, it's a big struggle.
So, do you train with Sam in New Zealand?
Yeah, we ride together quite a lot.
And do you live? I assume you live close by.
We live on the same street.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
have you been friends for a long time?
Only through foiling, so 3 or 4 years. We just happened to be at the same place every time, and then we started saying, well, you know, I'll pick you up, or we'll meet there at 3, and then just got better and better, and he's been so helpful for my riding.
Definitely.
So he's pulled me up to his level, or maybe just below, for 3 years now, and only the last few months have I been able to push him. So finally he's getting something from me.
Nice. And so you said you don't like the light winds. So what's the most usual size of kites do you use in New Zealand?
Probably the 15.
15.
Yeah.
Do you have waves or flat?
We live in close to Auckland City, so we spend most of our time in the harbour. So we drive about 5-10 minutes, and then we have like an interesting little launch, and then we sail in the harbour with the ferries and the boats.
Okay.
So pretty flat most of the time. Sometimes we get like rolling waves.
Okay.
I definitely do better in flat water.
Flat water.
Which is why I think I did okay in this league.
Okay. And for your plan, so you attended Italy. Now you have attended the Asian Championships. What's your plans for the rest of the year? And then what's the grand plan for you? What do you think right now?
I wanted to do Garda because it was an amazing event, and I wanted to meet all these top riders and see how good you guys are. And in some ways, I saw that the top 10 or 15 are next level, but I also know that it is achievable, and I know who's good. The reason we've come to China is actually to basically to qualify for the beach games later in October, which is just an event that we wanted to do, and I think it looks good on paper for our country and stuff like that. So we're here to qualify for that more than anything. Apart from that, I don't have many plans. Maybe Europeans, but I have to save a bit of money first.
Are you planning to do maybe the commercial events like the Gold Cup, big one in China with over the 100,000 prize money for 2 events split?
Not this year, I don't think.
Not this year.
You know, this year Sam and I both kind of invested in our own kites and stuff like that, so we spent a little bit of money on. We're hoping that sooner rather than later we get a support from Yachting New Zealand or some more sponsors or something like that. So I think in future we will. This year for me was knowing how good I am compared to other people, and then I can come back and train on what I need to do.
How would you say? Because some people would say that if they don't have the funds to go to all the events, or like that they're not sure if they have enough level, they kind of stay away from competition. How valuable do you think the experience of the World Championship was for you?
Amazingly, and I think I have less reason to go than other people because I have such a good training partner like Sam. So I get a sense of how good the level is, but I still had to come and see where I'm strong, where I'm weak, how fast they actually are, what it takes. So it's very important. So especially if a rider doesn't have a good training partner, you need to go and just experience it. And I mean, everyone on the tour is so nice, and it's such a nice place to be. So it's totally worth it.
It actually is. And then I know Sam, he had a huge sailing background.
Yeah.
Have you had any? No. So basically you were doing freestyle and then you came and said...
Yeah, I've come with kiteboarding experience and also paragliding. So I've been doing that my whole life as well. That's kind of the other half of my life, I guess. And that's helped me understand the foil kites and how to handle that, but I lack sailing experience. So another reason why I wanted to come do some events is to know how to sail, of course, rather than just go fast.
Yeah, I think this is because the difference between, I think the biggest difference between the freestyle and hydrofoil sailing is that you're actually sailing on a hydrofoil and you need to know how the course wells, what does ley line mean, how to find out where ley line is.
I'm still learning all the words. I understand sailing and how it works, but to go and put it into practice is something different.
Yeah. Is it your first time in China?
Yeah. I've done a lot of traveling, but never to Asia. So.
Right now, I can really feel that the atmosphere we're in, this how China is. So it was quite a minute ago, and now there's 10 Chinese guys, and they speaking really, really loud. Everyone. Do you feel it?
Yeah.
And it's usually how it is in China. It's a mayhem all over.
No, I really enjoy it. We went out for dinner last night, and
it was amazing.
The drive there was scary, and everyone's pushing, and it's awesome.
Yeah, but the dinner was amazing.
Yeah.
How's this event? How's these conditions are different than the home spot? How do you feel?
I think overall it's pretty good. Again, it's very light wind, which I don't personally like, but at least there's enough to ride on the big kites.
Okay.
It's very hot and very humid, which I'm really struggling with. In New Zealand, we always have a sea breeze, so it's always nice, fresh air.
Okay.
The water's really warm, which I guess is nice.
I love it because you can kite without the wetsuit, just board shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, I brought a short leg, long arm wetsuit, and it's too hot, so it's nice.
Yeah. What's the regular temperature in New Zealand when you kite?
We're in like a 4-3 wetsuit. The temperature can get up quite high, but the water's always a little bit colder, so not too bad. Okay. But I'd wear a wetsuit all the way.
Okay. And right now we're gonna have a segment that I had in a few couple episodes when I kind of stopped.
Yeah.
So Sam didn't do this, but then the guys here in China asked me to do it again. So I'm gonna try to do it again. It's called Blitz Questions.
Okay.
I ask you questions, they show questions, you just answer them.
Okay.
There is nothing important about them, it's just sometimes they're funny. So let's go. So the first question, let's say you have a refrigerator in a small room. If you leave the refrigerator's door open, will the room become cold or will the refrigerator become warm?
Both?
Both.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I don't think the room is going to change temperature much.
Okay, so the
gonna get
refrigerator gets
warm.
warm. Okay. Let's say you're a type of food. Which type would you be?
Pasta.
Pasta. Which one? Which one?
Bolognese.
Bolognese. Okay. What angers you the most?
What angers me?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think I'm a very angry person, so it's hard to answer.
What are some things that sound like a compliments but are actually insults?
I don't know. Can't think of anything.
You can't think of anything.
Come back to that one.
Okay. It's fine. What's next? What's a body part that you wouldn't mind losing?
I don't know. Maybe a toe or something.
A toe. Okay.
Not a big one.
Not big one.
Yeah, you need that.
Okay. What's the closest thing to real magic there is?
Foiling's pretty cool.
Foiling. We had Dane Wilson, the guy from US States. He said the same.
Yeah.
The foiling.
It's an amazing feeling. It's quite awesome.
Okay. Would you rather shoot spaghetti out of your fingers or sneeze meatballs?
Spaghetti fingers.
Spaghetti fingers.
Sounds less painful.
Okay. I mean, that was it. That was the Blitz questions for this episode. I didn't have too many of them, but that's kind of the vibe I'm trying to get here. And with the Blitz questions, I'm trying to just freshen up the talk and add something into it. One of the good ones I think we can ask you, I think it's going to be funny. What the 10 things you can do with a pencil besides writing?
You can stab someone.
Okay.
I think, you know how girls tie their hair up with chopsticks? Probably do that.
Okay, 2.
Two. I'm not doing well, am I?
No.
I don't know, you could scratch yourself with it.
Scratch yourself, yeah, you definitely can.
Does that count?
Yeah, it does.
You could set it on fire.
Okay.
Fire starter.
Yes.
What else can you do with a pencil? You can use it as a ruler.
Okay. It's 5.
You can use it as a drumstick.
Okay, 6.
Do I have to get to 10?
Yes. If you can.
It's loud in here.
Very loud. Yeah, but what we have a mic, so it's actually I can
think.
lower them. Okay, you can think. So 6. 6. Okay, 6.
Was that good? How many did most people get?
It was okay. Most of the people, I don't know, get between 6 and 10. Some people did help.
What are the other answers?
Actually, I don't know. It's for me, start to get my. I think. I have no idea.
You don't even know.
I don't even know. You can use maybe to screw something in. Someone said, and then by stuff. Okay. You've been training with Sam. So, what do you think was the key aspect or a little detail that helped you progress so quickly? Because I can say that just coming first year international event, coming to the World Championship and being in top 30, it's a really, really big achievement. So what do you think was different for you that kind of make you stand out in front of other riders?
I think just spending time on the water with Sam was good.
Do you spend a lot of time?
In the summer we do. At the moment he's been working quite hard, so he's been quite busy.
Okay.
I have more time during the day, so I try to go out when I can. But with him, I think if I ask him questions and stuff, he's very helpful, obviously. But the key is just to have him out there going fast all the time. So I remember when I started, I was always just chasing him around, and he just ignored me.
Okay.
You know, he's just doing his own thing. But just having someone faster than you is so much better.
Having a sparring partner that can help you grow.
Like I said, he didn't really gain anything from me for a long time because I was too slow for him. But for me, it was very, very helpful. And now what we're trying to do is do the same thing with the other riders that are coming up in New Zealand. So we have our other training partners, Justina, the New Zealand woman. She came 10th in the world, so she's doing pretty good as well.
10th. She finished 10th.
Yeah, she came 10th. So she's learning off both of us, and then there's some new young riders coming up, and I think their progression is much faster than Sam's was and much faster than mine because we're helping them.
Okay, so what is the general situation with the kite falling movement racing in New Zealand, and how does the New Zealand Sailing Federation react to the news that it's now an Olympic sport?
There's always been a group of maybe 10 or so that have been foiling for quite a long time, and they've done pretty well, and they do the nationals and stuff like that. But it wasn't really till Sam and I came that it started developing a bit of speed. So now we have a few younger riders coming up, and some of the even more experienced guys are getting better again now because everyone's learning off each other. In terms of what New Zealand's doing, the Yachting New Zealand is the people we deal with, and they are very excited that we're hopefully becoming a part of what they're doing. So far we haven't really had much help, and they've found it difficult to commit to anything so far. They helped us a little bit with the Worlds. They gave us a little bit of help. But nothing really official yet. I mean, it's so, but you think slowly in future is gonna. I think now that the gear has just recently been selected, they will be able to help a little bit more. I think Sam, Justina, and I are doing a good job of showing what we can do already, and New Zealand has very, very big potential to be one of the best. If you look at all our sailing,
definitely. I think the place you are and the sailing is so big in New Zealand that.
I mean, a lot of kite foiling is the same as any other sailing event. So we have very good coaches and very good sailors, and I think once we get started, we're going to do really well.
Amazing. And then besides the Axis, which sponsors would you like to flag and
first Wings and Waves, which is our paragliding and kitesurfing school in Auckland. They've helped me my whole life, and they've been one of my biggest sponsors. And then just say thank you to Ozone for helping me as well. They're from New Zealand as well, so we know them personally, and they've been very kind.
So I assume you know Matt?
Yeah, so I deal with Matt and the people there directly, and it's nice to have someone so close.
Yeah, I mean, I think Matt is a great guy. He helped so many people to start, and then he one of the founders of the Ozone company. So the Ozone kite's one of the best kites there out in the market.
For sure. And so it's nice to have a brand that's so competitive but also local.
Definitely.
But that's the same with Axis. Axis has helped me my whole life. Ever since I was a little kid, he'd make twin tips for me and stuff like that. And whatever's going on in their world, they have time to talk to me, and they just made me a new board for the Worlds.
Oh, nice. Very nice. So we kind of getting to finishing up here. Do you have anything you want to tell? Let's say talk more about specifically. What do you think would be interesting?
I would like to know a little bit about what you do during the year, because I know you're one of the top riders and you're very fast, but I don't know too much about you, where I probably know a little bit more about some of the French guys or you know, others. So, I mean, I see you do a lot of events, so you spend a lot of time.
I try. So I think it's like the full about maybe I do one with me when someone's going to join me, but basically my schedule is pretty simple. I go to school in LA, so from September to end of April I actually study in university, and I do all it's in Los Angeles, California, so I do all the local events. I can't really travel much because of the school. And then during the summer from May to August, I live in Trifa mostly, where it's where my team lives. My coach lives in Trifa, Spain, and I try to spend as many time as possible in the water, train, and do as many events. Because I think the events actually it's one of the most, besides the hours in the water, is the second most valuable thing you can do to improve yourself.
I think so, especially at your level when you're already so high, you need everything you can get.
Definitely, and it's just like in the races you always go and you think, even if you're first, what can be done better to maybe increase the gap, and then there's every single race you do the mistakes, so it's just important. And maybe in future I'll do one episode where I'll be the guest and talk about myself.
You just need a good
Yeah. So we're gonna be finishing up here. What's your Instagram and socials? We're just gonna plug them in.
It's Lucas_Walton.
Okay.
Instagram. My Facebook is just Lucas Walton.
I'm gonna take you, and all the sponsors. So perfect. And there's the camera. So just look at it and say a few things that you think is important right now to the viewers.
I just think anyone who's foiling at the moment, just get out there, do some competitions, if it's local or even international. As long as you can get around the course, just make sure you spend as much time as you can in the water, and make sure you learn off the good guys as much as possible. They've done it all before, they made all the mistakes, so just stick to them as much as possible.
Yeah, man, that's true. That's how you get better. Guys, thank you for watching. It was me, Dennis. It was Lucas from New Zealand. We see you next Wednesday. We're gonna have a couple more episodes from Ben High Asian Championship, and then we're gonna move on to Marseille, the World Sailing event. So, bye.